In a world that never stops moving, emotions have become both our greatest power and our deepest confusion. We live surrounded by noise, people, screens, thoughts, yet the loudest sounds are often the ones inside us. Anger, fear, sadness, jealousy, love, they rise like waves, crash into our thoughts, and then fade, leaving traces of salt and silence. But what if we could understand these waves? Not suppress them, not run from them, but see them clearly as they rise and fall. To control our emotions, not by force, but by awareness. Because emotional control doesn't mean silence. It means harmony. Inside your brain, deep beneath logic and language, lives a structure older than civilization, the limbic system. It houses the amygdala, the hippocampus, and the hypothalamus, the ancient guardians of your survival. When you feel threatened, the amygdala fires like a silent alarm. It floods your system with adrenaline, preparing you to fight, flee, or freeze. It doesn't think, it reacts. That's why emotions often feel faster than reason, because they are. A few milliseconds later, your prefrontal cortex, the rational, decision-making part, tries to interpret what's happening. It labels the emotion. It gives it language. I'm angry, I'm afraid, I'm sad. But by the time thought catches up, the emotional flame is already burning. That's why control isn't suppression. It's awareness. It's catching the spark before it becomes a wildfire. Notice how your emotions live inside the body. Anger tightens the chest. Fear curls the stomach. Sadness weighs on the shoulders. Joy expands the breath. Every emotion is both chemical and spiritual, a biochemical pulse that echoes through every nerve. And here lies the secret. If you can change your body, even slightly, you can begin to change your emotional state. A deep, deliberate breath signals the brain, you're safe. Relaxed shoulders whisper to the nervous system, you don't have to fight. The body is not the prisoner of emotion. It is the key to its release. Every emotion moves through 3 stages. Trigger, a thought, a sound, a memory, a word. Reaction, a physical and mental wave. Interpretation, the story you tell yourself about that wave. Most of our emotional suffering doesn't come from the emotion itself. It comes from the story we attach to it. Anger says, something is wrong. But the mind says, I must attack. Fear says, be careful. But the mind says, I am weak. Emotional control begins when we separate the signal from the story. Take a pause when you feel an emotion rise. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is my body trying to tell me? This single shift moves you from reactivity to reflection. Imagine sitting beside a river. Each emotion is a leaf floating past. Some leaves are dark, some are golden. You don't jump into the river, you watch. That's mindfulness, the art of observing without owning. When you feel angry, say softly in your mind, this is anger. Not I'm angry, because you're not the anger. You're the awareness watching it unfold. This gentle distance is what neuroscientists call meta-awareness, the ability to watch your inner world like a landscape. It doesn't numb your feelings, it refines them. It allows you to choose your next move, not as a reaction, but as an intention. Most people think controlling emotions means suppressing them, locking them away behind a calm face. But emotions don't disappear. They store themselves in muscles, in breath, in silence. And one day, they return, louder, darker, demanding to be seen. True control is not denial, it's dialogue. A conversation between your emotional self and your conscious self. When you say, I shouldn't feel this, the emotion fights back. When you say, I see you, and I'm listening, it softens. Emotional maturity is learning to feel without drowning. It's standing in the rain and knowing you are not the storm. Modern psychology gives us tools, small, powerful anchors to return to balance. 1. The 5-7-8 breath. Inhale for 5 seconds. Hold for 7. Exhale for 8. Repeat 3 times. This breathing pattern directly reduces amygdala activity, slowing emotional reactivity. 2. the cognitive pause. When triggered, pause for 5 seconds before responding. This activates your prefrontal cortex, the rational part, allowing your emotion to be processed rather than projected. 3. Labeling. Name what you feel in one sentence. I feel frustrated. I feel unheard. Labeling emotion moves it from limbic chaos into linguistic order, turning storms into maps. 4. Grounding the body. Touch something near you. Feel texture, temperature, pressure. The body lives in the present. Emotions live in the past or future. When you reconnect to touch, you step back into now. Once awareness is stable, emotion can transform. Anger becomes courage. Fear becomes alertness. Sadness becomes empathy. Every emotion is energy, and energy can shift form. The key lies in directing it through purpose, not suppression. Athletes channel aggression into power. Artists channel pain into creation. Thinkers channel anxiety into awareness. You don't erase emotion. You redirect it. Take a breath. Notice what emotion has been closest to you lately. Ask it, what are you trying to protect me from? Most emotions are just protection in disguise. Even rage often guards deep hurt. Even numbness guards old fear. When you listen deeply enough, every emotion becomes a teacher. Control is not the absence of feeling. It's the stillness beneath it. Like a lake, storms may ripple the surface, but the depths remain calm. The more you observe your inner weather without judgment, the more transparent it becomes. Eventually, the waves pass and the lake clears, showing reflections, not distortions. And in that clarity, you realize you were never trying to control your emotions. You were learning to understand your mind. There will always be triggers. Life will always bring contrast, joy and sorrow, ease and tension. But once you learn to meet emotion with awareness, it stops owning you. You begin to respond, not react. And that is emotional freedom, not the silence of feeling nothing, but the peace of feeling everything without being carried away. So tonight, before sleep, take one deep breath. Place your hand over your heart. Feel the quiet pulse beneath your chest. That is not control. That is connection. And connection is where control begins.